Let's go. Where you at? In the zone. You have tuned in to In the Zone radio broadcast, sponsored by Empowerment Zone Culture. Stay tuned for news, information, entertainment, and great talk that will empower you today.
It's a fabulous day here in the zone, and I am your host, Diva Style. Now, beloved, do me an extra favor and text those friends and Instagram those people that you know and those loved ones, and holler at your sisters and brothers and let them know that In the Zone is in the house on this afternoon. Don't you just love it? And I am so excited and so elated to be before you one more time to empower, enlighten, and inspire and encourage you for a better life. I am so elated, first of all, to always have in the house the producer, the executive, the CEO, Mr. Glenn Cannon. How you doing, Glenn?
Hello.
He does that to me all the time, but I love him anyway. And I'm always excited to have with us, as always, one of our other co-hosts, Pastor Tyron Price, Mr. B1. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Beautiful day.
And then radio, I want to, he's getting a big round of applause.
That's right.
And then radio, I want to introduce to you one of the other co-hosts of In the Zone. This is her first time on ventradio.net. And I introduce to you Dr. Crystal Eason. How you doing?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Yay. And she's going to introduce our special guest in one moment. You are welcome to call in. You are welcome to call in at 248-429-7224. 248-429-7224 at ventradio.net. ventradio.net. You're welcome to tune in to us. We welcome your questions, comments, and concerns each and every time we come before you. Now, before we lose Dr. Crystal Eason to man this wonderful podium that God has allowed us to have in our lives, we want to do some housekeeping or some announcements. First of all, there's this wonderful musician by the name of Philip Bates. Philip Bates, he is a phenomenal musician, and he is a person that loves to reach out to the community. Well, he is having a bowling event on the 17th of this month, and all the proceeds go to foster homes and to shelters that are housing children that are displaced. You're welcome to reach out to him. I will be there at that event, and you're welcome to reach out to him on Facebook. His name is Philip Bates. You can't miss him. He's the bearded guy with the musician status. So please, sir, please, ma'am, this is a wonderful cause that he is producing. This is a wonderful event that will help our people. And then second of all, I had another announcement. Oh, second of all, guess what? You need to get ready, beloved. You need to get ready for this phenomenal event that's going to occur in December. Now, Mr. Cannon, tell us again about the wonderful event that's going to take place, the Black Tie Affair in December.
Yes, we will be hosting Vent Radio as one of the sponsors for the Midwest Video Awards. Yes. And it will be December 16th. 2017 at the Senate Theater, Michigan Avenue, just west of Livernois. Come on out, support Midwestern independent artists as we pay tribute to great talent. Yes, and it'll be a black tie, red carpet event. So don't come up in there looking crazy. And you can pick tickets up online at Eventbrite.com. Right. You just go there and search for the Midwest Video Awards, and you can get your tickets, so you don't have to be standing in line and trying to chase folks down and all that stuff.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So if you don't like to buy online, and some of us don't, okay. If you don't, you can call Vent Radio, and we'll make sure you get tickets or VIP tickets or whatever it is you want to do, you know.
And tell us about the nomination, because you're still in the nomination phase, correct?
Well, we're in the still in the nomination phase, but only because we want to include as many creative people as possible.
Okay.
And we want to recognize you for your work, if it's up to par, and have as many people have the opportunity to be recognized for their talents and their work. So we just saying, come on, just bring it on. No guns in your videos. If you depict weapons in your videos, you will not be able to compete.
And so if you are an artist, or if you are a director, or if you are a producer,
yes,
or if you did a musical score in the particular video, you can submit your video if you are an independent artist with a professional status.
Indie artist with pro status.
With pro status, you are welcome to submit your videos of creativity.
Yes, ma'am.
To
MWVMawards.com. Go there. It doesn't cost you a dime to submit. If the talent committee deems your work to be appropriate, then you will be nominated, and you can compete and get your friends, fans, and family to vote for you. That's the beauty in this awards. It's not about what we think. It's about what the people think.
Okay.
So the people are choosing the winners. Simple and plain.
And so it's a plethora of genres. You have country, you have hip hop, you have R&B, soul, you have neo. Did I miss any?
Best live performance.
Okay.
Best feature film, best short film. Thank you. Oh, we're doing a Lifetime Achievement Award, but that's a secret who's going to receive that. Then we're doing the Award of Merit.
Okay.
And yeah.
And so you can submit and you can nominate and you can cast your votes at this time.
Yep.
Up until November, the second week of November, correct?
Yes.
So again, tell them where can they submit their videos and where can they get information?
You can submit your videos and get all pertinent information about the awards at MWVMawards.com.
And you know what? Since you've allowed me to advertise this, I've been like going online and been looking at different videos and suggesting, and I think it's just so amazing because first of all, Corey Barksdale was here on our show, and I went online to see if he was nominated, and he was nominated.
Yeah.
And then on yesterday, our producer, I found out Marcus Anthony, correct? B1.
Yeah.
I found out that he has a couple of videos.
Yeah.
And I suggested that he submit his video into the awards.
Yeah, well, we've been working really hard to locate and identify great talent.
Okay.
And that's what this award is about. This is about great, unique talent. It's not about none of the hype of the industry. It's not about favorites in terms of I know you or you my cousin. It's all about the work. If the work is up to par and you grind and you get your votes up, we're going to recognize you. Simple.
And that is a wonderful thing. That is a wonderful thing. So go to the Midwest website and submit your particular videos and submit your choice in regards to this particular venture. So now we're going to move on to our conversation of discussion, because yesterday we ran kind of out of time. And so I want to give all time, all right, to our particular topic. So I'm going to introduce to you again, Dr. Crystal Eason. Take it away.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We have with us today the phenomenal Mr. Stephen Dandridge. He is the president and founder of Excellent Choices, actually working with kids. But today, for the sake of time, he is also the author for a book release on relationships. We call it Love Uncut. Actually, that's how we met. He was a good listener. I didn't know him. He was a stranger, and I was pissed off. And so he was able to listen to me, which kind of got my attention because we know men usually, they don't want to hear all that. When it comes to women, we want a lot of talking. However, as our relationship,
smart lady right there.
Yeah, I already knew, but he was patient. For one, he probably was like, I don't even know her, and she's sharing all this information. But he has a book on relationships, and having previously been married and dating and things like that, we have had some time to talk about our struggle. And for women in particularly, single women today is struggling, even trying to get somebody to go to McDonald's. I mean, it's tight. But Steve, however, have come up with some chapters that we want to discuss on relationships. And there's several. And so we were told that today we could really talk about some of those chapters we couldn't talk about in other arenas.
And we want to say, Mr. Cadden, this is a straight up no chaser type event. So the stuff that we couldn't talk about on the Christian radio,
yes,
I told them that they're welcome to talk about here.
They're welcome to talk about anything they want to talk about.
There you go.
Okay, we're good.
So take it away.
We're just having conversations with women who are middle-aged. One of the things, it's difficult to find just a friend in a man. And so one of the things Mr. Dandridge highlights in his book, his first chapter, see, I remember it, which is called The Power of the P.
Hey.
Gotta come out swinging.
One of the things he say is that women do not know their power. And so I want Steve to kind of talk about, from his perspective, you can share a little bit about your relationship theory and what led you to that chapter in particularly.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for inviting me. We did have some lively conversations.
I'm glad you're here.
And, I'm glad it's a couple brothers here that could,
right. Yeah, we know
level the playing field here.
Usually on this show, they have a muzzle on you, so I'm feeling this. Tell me about the power of the people. That's what I want to hear about.
Me too.
Well, how this started was about 12 or 13 years ago. I actually started this book before Steve Harvey's book came out and got sidetracked. And so now I'm finishing it up because I always feel like there's more than one way to skin the cat. And, no disrespect to Mr. Harvey. He's done some great things, but what makes him the expert on the ladies?
Well, it's you know what? He's not.
Right.
And his track record proves it.
Oh, straight up.
I'm just saying.
And
I'm just saying.
I read the book, and I have to tell you that I thought it was immature.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I really did. Yeah. Very basic. And, he has that brand now to protect.
For
sure. And it seemed like him and his nephew or somebody sat down and thought they'd tell women how they should be women. And I just, come on, Steve.
The idea or concept of the book, but it was a female that wrote the book.
Well, whoever concept it is stupid.
Wow.
Okay, so back to you.
Well, the power of the P, right?
Yes.
That's what we sidetracked.
We got to bring this music video down now because it's going to get hot up in the head.
Well, because I've witnessed it quite a few times that when a young lady, finally realizes that she's a woman, and they realize the attributes that they have, their whole mindset changes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I was just talking yesterday about stepdaughter who's 19 now, and just the difference between, say, 17 and 19, and if she's going to change some more, say from 19 to 25,
absolutely,
and so on and so forth. The little, young man she was dating, I asked him recently, I said, so what do you think about her now? She's going to a young lady. He said, well, Mr. Dandridge, she is not on 100 or 1,000. She on 100,000 or 1 million as far as, her womanhood. And he was like, I can't handle her anymore,
mm-hmm,
because she realizes that the power. She's starting to realize it.
Yeah.
I know I was talking to her and she was like, You know, I had him get up in the middle of the night and come bring me something to eat because I was hungry, you know, and them type of things. And I said, oh, a couple of years ago, she wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Or I see her looking at herself in certain outfits and making sure that, you know, everything is right from head to toe. She's, you know, pretty voluptuous young lady.
Mhm.
And, you know, just the power, because now she got men 30, 40, 50 years old looking at her and saying
Absolutely.
things to her.
I'm visualizing her right now.
So you know that, you know, and that's just the beginning of it. That's the beginning of it. I know we were having a discussion yesterday about, you know, women, once they realize that power and they realize how they can wield it over men, you have to be careful, because with great power comes great responsibility. You know, we always hear that all the time. But sometimes when a woman's ego gets, or she goes through a couple bad relationships, then she starts to question if she still has that power or if that's a myth or not.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's another side of it. I just think that, you know, be careful what you ask for when you possess them kind of powers, because it goes on the flip side too.
Well, you know, that's why I wanted to ask you.
Right.
Because as men, we absolutely know the power of the coochie.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
But do you think in your research, did you find that it also works against them when for instance, let me give you a example because it's kind of hard to explain. I know a young lady, probably about your daughter's age, drop dead gorgeous.
Right.
But her attitude in terms of her beauty and her aura, if you will, is such a turnoff that she has a hard time with guys because they see it right off the bat. It's like she wears it on her sleeve. You can see it in her walk. You can feel it in her spirit. And I'm kind of like a mentor of hers. And I was telling her, I said, you know, beauty can be a weapon, not only against men, but against yourself. Did you find in your research while working on the book that women tend to think too much of their power?
Well, at times, you know, and a lot of my research is, you know,
Hands-on.
settings like this, of course, what I've experienced, but then having a group of guys over the years, or a group of women over the years, and we just sitting up kicking it, and I'm taking mental notes. For sure, we talk about relationships, because we all got war stories and war wounds at this point, you know. For sure, especially if you're a very beautiful looking young lady externally, you're getting told that all the time. You know, there's a young lady today that's 11 years old, and I was just talking to Dr. Easton about it, and already they feel in their head, you're light skinned, you got light eyes, you got curly hair. This young lady was just coming with it. She was spilling it all out, and I'm like, wow, this young lady little girl is 11 years old,
but
and her mother and grandmother and whoever else, they doing a number on that.
But is that dangerous?
Yes.
For our women.
Yes.
To at such a young age to be able to recognize in their minds the power of beauty and the power that they can hold over the opposite sex. Is that dangerous?
If you're not mature enough, absolutely.
Well, 11, you couldn't be.
You couldn't be. But my thing is, you know, my thing is this.
I wish I had my phone in
I
here.
think a woman can answer that clearly.
Yes.
Yes,
okay,
please
yes,
let the woman answer.
absolutely.
Dr. Easton, what are you
No,
saying?
I mean, the beauty.
Get in your mic, Doc.
I was raised beauty is only skin deep. And I think how it works against a woman, if that's all she focuses on, is her beauty. So if she just focuses on the external and never work on the internal, then her beauty don't last anyway. So I think it's dangerous in that regard.
But we we have to get to be adults to actually figure that out.
Right. Well, as
Sure.
kids, you know.
But doesn't it start with when you're a child though?
Well,
Because even when you talk about insecurities and those things begin as a child.
They
The
don't
things
internal.
don't-
Well, all
They
things
don't-
begin as a
They
child.
don't,
Right.
but they don't begin. The seed is implanted until they're at that infant stage.
Well,
And that you how
It
you
depends.
how you
I beg to
water
differ.
it.
My youngest daughter sent me a picture just the other day. I wish I had the phone in here. And you know, I seen my daughter. She wants to be a makeup artist now, or so she thinks. So we went out. We said, okay. We bought her some stuff, you know, and she was practicing on her mother, you know. And I was like, okay, she's getting pretty good. Well, she sends me a picture the other day of herself that she had made herself up, and it was I couldn't believe it was my child.
Mhm.
So what is she seeing in the public, on television, through her mother, through other women? What is she seeing to make her want to look this way?
How does she look?
She looked beautiful, but she didn't look 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Right.
you see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And I think that we as parents, I don't know how other folks are with their children, but I do know how my people are with our children. I think sometimes we look at things and oh, that's cute. It may be, but what is it doing to the child?
Right.
And what is the child going to think later on in life? You know what I'm saying? Her mother's a very beautiful woman. I get that, you know, but I'm trying to teach them that beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to get them today to understand that concept when all of the images that they see on television, reality TV, and all this stuff is some woman getting out the bed already made up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I you know, I'm not a woman. I like women very, very much, and I study them, but
Mm.
we're not women. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we
I know
talked
that's
about
right.
that though. We talked about how society make even young girls or women want to be a certain way, you know, a certain size, have a certain look, because if not, then they really trying to figure out their worth.
Well, you know that it's so interesting that you said that. I can remember being a young child, and there was bigger women that were beautiful women to our age group. And as we started to mature, bigger women started to get a bad rap. We went through a phase where bigger women just started getting a bad rap. Now you see it turning again, and voluptuous women are starting to be the ones that everybody are paying attention to,
Yeah.
celebrating.
Yeah.
It's I think it may be a cultural thing or something, because now it's like even the models, the little thin models, when we went through that era, well, they're not really working that much anymore.
Mhm.
But it is a culture change, I do believe, because even in the dance field, I remember when I was in high school, I wanted to be a dancer.
Mhm.
And because I was small and featured, you know, I was a preferred. I remember I went to audition for Alvin Ailey. And so my physique, my features made a difference. He wasn't looking
To
for
the instructor.
to the instructor, and to when you look at Alvin Ailey and when you look at his dancers, they were all small in nature because that's what they preferred. They preferred the petite, the small. Where now, even in the dance field, you have it where women are now voluptuous. You know, they're not
Yeah.
the
Have you
small
seen
size fours.
have
and
you
stuff.
any of you guys seen the footage of Janet Jackson's current tour?
Mhm.
On- She has
Filled out.
well, no, she's looking very, very fit and well, but her dancers are way more voluptuous than they used to be from other tours that I've seen her on.
Right.
And I find that very interesting. But I wonder, doctor, and maybe you can answer this. When a woman reaches her sexual peak, 42ish, 43ish, 40, right up in
44,
there.
45, 46. Yeah.
Why doesn't she realize that she's at her peak?
I think the woman that doesn't realize it
Most
don't know.
Most
or
of y'all
haven't-
don't.
Like I said, I think the women that don't realize it, I think because women have been made to feel oppressed sexually, especially the church women, even not saying they don't have feelings and desires.
They
but
do?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Y'all do?
Yeah, we do.
I can't tell.
So I think until I think that's true. I mean,
Come on, Doctor.
you know, men can be hoish.
Absolutely.
Urban radio.
Is that wrong?
Women-
Is anything wrong with that?
It depends on who you are. You know,
I'm
how you
hoish.
see it. That's good. Whatever makes you happy is my thought.
So could I approach you in that manner if I saw you at a play or something?
What's that manner though?
Well, a hoish manner.
Like,
Describe the whole thing.
hey, how you doing? You look good. I want to do something with you immediately.
and that'll probably be the response you get.
Right.
What I just did. Laugh.
Right.
Okay. So if I came on you and I was like a gentleman, hey, how you doing today? I sure would like to sit and talk with you about a few things.
That's better.
Well, don't you understand, Doctor, that I'm still after that coochie?
Yes, I do. I know that.
But you making love to the mind first and the
See,
emotional
you at
piece.
least
So you-
approaching it with
you
some
approaching
etiquette.
it. Yeah.
But see,
And
but I don't.
that's respecting the game. It really is.
Mhm.
So can we get back to
To the
that?
peak.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Well,
Because we went to beauty.
Well,
So it's the power.
we gotta set it up.
No, but you said you
You
mixed
see,
up the power of
This
beauty.
the first. See, you get this on the first
Listen,
night. See
we
how in
know.
the rush she
No,
is.
you don't. But you know
No, you
what?
don't.
Let me talk about the peak, which will tie into the power of the peak.
Okay.
Yes.
I think women are oppressed sexually, first of all, because we're not taught to express and be assertive in that area.
Mhm.
Because if you're assertive sexually, you looked at some kind of way.
And
know,
when you say
or
we're not taught, who
we're
do,
not-
who does the
our
teaching?
parents, church, you know, all of these traditional methodologies make women suppress what they desire sexually. But it takes a woman to decide that she wants to know who she is holistically, and you can't become whole without knowing who you are sexually.
Wait a minute, Doctor. Wait a minute. Hold it. See, you kicking some knowledge now.
Right,
See,
right.
these girls. I hope listen. Don't y'all be out
Oh, I'm
front of the
wrong.
studio
I'm
trying to
wrong.
fight this
See?
woman when she leaves. Go
No,
ahead, Doctor.
really. So you have to just come to that comfortable place with who you are. Like, I can remember growing up and my mother would say, girl, you hot as cayenne pepper. I had no idea what she was talking about. But I know my parents' history, and both of them were sensual people.
Mhm.
And so when you discover who you are, you got to accept it. And so then you would discover at 49, like myself, hey, I'm an intimate person. I have sexual desires, and that doesn't mean God don't love me.
Mhm.
And I'm okay with that.
You know, it's
Right.
interesting that you say that. I mean, I think from one aspect, we all are oppressed sexually, not just women. I think men are too, because
Mhm.
we don't understand how to make love to a woman until way later on.
Can you clap again?
Right,
But
right.
do you agree with that? Can you
That's true.
clap?
No, we don't get no clap.
Can you clap? Do you agree with that? Right, we can clap.
Well, I could definitely agree with that, but what helped me out was I got 6 older brothers, so I was getting schooled since I was a little something. I was ahead of the curve all the ways, even through school.
But did they?
You know.
I know they could help you sexually, in terms of conversation. But did you know what you was doing? Was you beating it up?
Well, I learned. I learned when I was 21, and I started dating a lady 31, and I got
My
schooled
man,
right
see?
there. Miss Mims, a shout out again to you. Miss Mims, you know, to this day, when I run into her,
See,
I
you-
just had to bow down.
See,
like,
you
took me
you
to
one of the
school.
lucky ones.
Took me to school.
See, now what we thought was you're supposed to try to give it a black eye.
Absolutely.
Right.
Exactly.
And-
Help me take my time, you know,
See,
and massage this whole
So
situation.
see, you ahead of the game. But most of us males, because at that age, I don't consider us men because we just
Right.
be too whacked out.
Right.
But you were lucky if you had an older woman that could teach you what to do and how to treat a woman. But when you with your boys and you're you know, you're in puberty and everything's racing, you know, the conversation turns into, man, I tried to break her back
every time.
Yep. And the girls, but the girls
exactly like you ain't done. Goodness. Okay, so listen, my question is, go ahead.
B1, what did you think?
Right.
Oh, you gonna put me in? No,
yeah, Reverend.
I agree with
You say, yeah, Reverend. what you do, Reverend?
This is very good. I agree with Doctor. Our sexual information, knowledge, and everything has been suppressed and misguided and misunderstood. What I teach my kids a lot of times, or my young people, they're grown now, is I taught my son and my daughters. When I was young, I used to think I was supposed to hit everything that was moving. I thought if somebody wanted to give me some, I had to get it.
You was right, Doc.
Yeah,
you was right, Reverend.
every chance I got to have sex, I was trying to have sex, and I didn't have a father to teach me the importance of my body, my own personal body, how important it is for me to cherish what I got to give to somebody, you know. And a lot of times you get in relationships with women, man, you be messed up, they be messed up, they be fighting, they slashing tires, breaking windows, because this sex thing is not nothing to play with. When you're young, it feel good. You got all that virile, you know what they say, young, dumb, and full of you know what, and all that.
Come.
He gonna say it for me.
Reverend, this the first time we get to be who we are.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little come.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. So I feel like even like with your book, The Power of the P, women that understand it. See, this is my thing. If you're a woman, Power of the P, then you can just about get me to do anything.
Me too.
I was gonna ask that. That was my question. For the men, what has the poo nanny made you
can
do?
just about get us to. Now I don't know about this P challenge and all these. No. I ain't talking about that stuff.
That's foolish.
I ain't talking about that crazy stuff. But I'm talking about if you want your husband or your significant other to take you on a trip, or to take you out to dinner, or to buy you something, man, it's a way to get it done. And it don't even require a whole lot. A nice smile, a stroke on the shoulder, a promise of some favors later on, or whatever. That's all we need.
We just tricks.
So in that, for the men, what have you done for the P? What has the power of the P ever impacted you?
You guys have, when I say you guys, I mean female.
Mm-hmm.
You have the most powerful thing on the planet Earth. Undoubtedly.
You agree?
Undoubtedly.
I agree. War's been started over the P.
Yeah.
Well, not started, finished
all of it.
And then one gonna start tomorrow.
Right.
Listen, we as men, you don't even have to give us the P to use the power of the P.
Right.
Just the thought that we might get eventually.
There's been situations where I've been beefed out, right? I can't stand your ass. And you know that I can't stand you at this moment. But you're so smart and you think so far in advance on us. Y'all even know what color panties to put on when you want the dude to stop being mad. You ain't got to apologize. You may be dead wrong as the woman. But so you don't have to apologize verbally.
You put them black ones on.
You go get them black panties and that black bra. And we come home, we still trying to be mad because you done been filed.
Right.
After about that third or fourth day, when you see that we're not going to break down, you said, okay, I got to pull out the big guns on this dude now. When he get home tonight, I'm going to have these black ones on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be playing like I'm asleep.
Mm-hmm.
One leg going to be hanging off the bed. You guys know what to do to make us submit.
Right.
And it's the power of the P.
Yeah.
But that is that when you're in a relationship, because look, I'm on the singles mingle group on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of the women who are single, they think in the power of the P is I can't give him the P because I don't know where he at.
That's the dumbest concept ever created.
I'm saying man. So it feels, because with women, not understanding the power of the P, and they give it up, but they give it up with intentions. Right. And that P wasn't that powerful for their intentions to come into fruition.
Well, doctor, do you think that everybody in this room, we all adults, we all submit to the power of the P. It's powerful, right? We agree with that?
Two hands up.
I'm gonna write the power of the D, but go ahead.
Right. That's very powerful only if she likes you.
True.
So
do you believe that?
Yeah, I always think that we could be smooth in our approach and all of that, but a woman already decides early on in the game if she gonna move to the next level with you. As long as you don't mess up, stay between the lines.
See, she's more sophisticated.
They're playing chess on us way earlier.
See,
where they playing basketball and football outside, they playing with the Barbie dolls and playing house inside.
Yeah.
So y'all got to jump. Y'all got a 100-yard head start on us, and we moving like a tortoise.
See, when a woman is really into you, she's willing to teach you the things that you don't know to make her feel good. And we too stupid to know how to reverse that. You know what I mean? Because either our egos won't allow it, or we too macho. We got all these other things that we dealing with where we think this what she like. It may not be that though. It may not be that. And women are smart enough and more advanced sexually from a sexual standpoint to say, 3 months, he gonna be straight because I'm gonna teach him what to do. And we don't look at things that way because our ego doesn't allow it. But what I wanted to know is that, again, when we get to the middle-aged women, why do they tend to start to believe that the less they give up, the better that the relationship will become?
I don't know no women like that.
I don't know either.
I do.
I think.
Have you ever heard the term?
I think they're giving less because they don't want. They don't. They're not happy with what they're being given.
Well, I've heard women say, and I've asked this question of women, even my own woman, and some of these women, these baby boomer women, if you will, they told me that their mothers taught them that if you give a man too much too soon, that he's eventually not going to want you and he's going to stray. And that concept is so, to me, so backwards.
Yes, and even in the Steve Harvey book, he talked about the 90-day rule, holding back for 90 days, not giving it up.
Nobody gonna stay with you for 90 days, and you ain't doing it to them.
Most men don't agree. I don't know about y'all. I don't agree with that. I don't feel like because somebody didn't give me some at a certain amount of time that I stayed with them longer. If anything, I might have left them sooner. Because if we're in a relationship where I'm attracted to you physically,
now you preaching
that attraction is going to grow the more time we spend together. So more time we spend, if we're spending a lot of time together, now if we don't never see each other,
that's different.
And we just I done see you twice and now I want to hit it. Well, you looking at me like, hold on, but you ainain't took me out. We ain't spent no time together. But we spend a lot of time together, and the more time we spend together, eventually it's gonna go from a kiss to a caress to a arousal, and sooner or later, as adults at certain ages, I know what the church teaches, and I'm not trying to go against what's taught, but I know what's reality. And most grown people that are not virgins are having sex.
I was gonna say, well, what about that for Christian women who are taught no sex before marriage, to be celibate, and you want to date? Like, what is an option for?
You go get you some and don't tell nobody.
Dr. Eason, what say you?
That's what you
not Glenn Cannon.
You know what?
You keep your business to yourself.
To be honest, when I grew up, my mother said, when you get ready to have sex, let me know. She didn't tell me not to do it. And so
how'd that work out for you?
I told her.
See, my eldest daughter, I told her the same thing that your mother told her.
The issue.
You know what she told me?
But I think
when she was pregnant.
But I think because you're a man, I think that's a different tie.
You know,
Even though you're close, because I was real close to my dad,
mhm,
and Tyrone will tell you I was really close to my
Mhm.
dad. I was a daddy and a grandfather's child. I
Mhm.
love them, but when it came down to that particular component, I didn't feel comfortable in sharing those things with him.
no, I get
And
it.
I
And-
remember my grandmother was the one, like her mother, to say to me, she was my earth. She was like, when you get ready, you need to let me know, because I'd rather us do what we need to do. And she was like, ain't no pun on the church. I love Jesus. I do. I love him. But physically, when you get ready, you need to let me know. And
Well,
then we
see,
can handle
but-
it from there.
You know, here's the thing, and it goes back to what the doctor was saying in terms of oppressed feelings.
Mhm.
How can you? And this is a question. It's not something that I know, because I don't know nothing about no church. But how can you teach folks to oppress themselves sexually and really believe that this is supposed to happen? How do you do that? Because none of us, I mean, we come here as sexual beings. We start feeling on ourselves as children. We start, you know what I mean? And then someone takes you inside of a church and somebody tell you, if you're feeling like this, you're wrong. Can you imagine what that does to a person's psyche
Yeah.
when they go home and they start examining themselves and feeling so, they start to feel like, in some cases, I believe, something wrong with me.
Mhm.
Dr. Eason, can you finish what you were stating? And
yeah.
then follow up with that.
You ain't like that, huh?
I liked it, but we never let her finish.
Which, because it's
Because it's not involved. What question were you asking? 'Cause it's not-
Right.
the
You were
answer's not
talking about
involved.
your mom talked to you about.
Well, she just told me to let her know. The issue was I was young. See, she didn't say age. She just said let me know.
How young, doctor?
I was young, too young,
How young?
too young.
Go on,
I
tell
was
it.
13. I was 13.
You had women from the South being married at 13.
Yeah, I was 13. And so because I was
Right.
afraid, I told her. But growing up, not in the church, and like I shared with them last night, we were taught you better give it to them if you're going to keep them.
Where you from, doctor?
Here,
You
east
from
side, east side.
Oh,
Mm.
me too.
East side.
I love my East Side girls.
So we were taught
13. That's,
only once. I didn't do it anymore. A couple years later.
That's all it
That
took.
kind of thing. But anyway, we were taught because my cousins were older.
Mhm.
So I was 13, but I was kicking it with my aunt and cousin who was 20, 21.
How old was the dude?
15. I don't like old men. So he was 15. However, they would have conversations about what women need to learn how to do to keep their man.
And you were overhearing these things.
Yeah, I was in the conversation, listening.
Oh, at 13?
Listening. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You say we mature faster
Mm.
mentally as well. And so I was a part of listening, not necessarily facilitating what they were saying, but I was listening.
So when you first started to have feelings sexually,
Mhm.
not acted on them, but just started to have those feelings, can you remember what you thought about yourself at that time?
Well, really, I don't even think it was about the feelings. It was peer pressure. Everybody was getting it in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So it just seemed like that was something you were supposed to do. I don't think the real desires or feelings showed up until much later. So by that time, when you participate in a behavior, you just do it. You know what I mean? And you haven't really come close to examining the truth about what you're feeling and thinking because you've been conditioned to a certain behavior.
Mhm.
So for me, coming in church in my 20s was like, they crazy. You know,
Right. You weren't
Doctor-
raised like that.
Doctor,
right.
you was right.
yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Okay.
But so in order for the church to help people in that area, you have to teach them the truth
Right.
about it
Mhm.
rather than don't do it.
Mhm.
This is how you feel,
Right.
stages of development. Like I teach the young girls self-esteem, and I told them in the class, and I told my first lady, excuse me, I need to say this, y'all control that coochie tingle. And they know what that is. And why? Because because you tingle don't mean you screw everybody just because your coochie tingling.
And
so I think more of that.
And that applies for outside of church.
Outside, grown women. So I think that to your first question, why do women in their prime? Because sometimes you get confused, like Steve mentioned, you get hurt. You know, you had some struggles. You like, God, I want to give it to him, but I don't know if I should because I don't know where he's at. Because our coochie is attached to what we feel.
So how do you control the coochie tingle?
You can't.
You don't.
It's not
to be controlled.
In my opinion, Stephen, you can chime in on this, but in my opinion, you ain't supposed to be controlling it at your age.
You don't.
You're supposed to be doing supposed to be doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
You don't control it because it's going to.
Or you're gonna be lonely.
Even if even when we had the conversation about being celibate, and I remember we had somebody on the show. I know you.
What was that?
And we had a gentleman on the show, and he was a wonderful gentleman, and that was his plight, that he remained celibate. Right. And when he remained celibate, the results of it was getting the wife that he received now. And so I didn't want the radio audience to think that because you're celibate, that things don't happen.
Yesterday?
Right? No. And so with that, I express the fact, just because you're celibate does not mean that the coochie don't tingle. It does not mean everything works. Right. Everything is supposed to work.
But
God designed it for everything to work.
Did he explain the theory behind being celibate? And
he was a gentleman. He was a guest on the show talking about the calling guy. Mm-hmm. He was a minister. And he felt that he was going to refrain from premarital sex with his fiancée until after they had gotten married, according to scripture. This is what we are taught in church. And this is the correct way that church has taught for years, that you should not practice premarital sex before you marry somebody. But that's in a lot of cultures.
But has the church figured out over all these years of having church that don't work?
It does work.
No, it doesn't work.
It does work.
It does not work.
It does.
And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We are at a 50% divorce rate in this country. Okay? So that means these folks in the church.
But can I really put a pin in that? Even though you label these people as being in the church, but they're not practicing this particular scripture, because you have a lot of the people that are in the church that are using grace as their reason to have sex. Everybody, all have sinned. They'll use this. No, all have sinned. All have come short of the glory of God.
I get
and
you.
Only God can
y'all
judge
allow
you.
That. Y'all allow. See, but that's what y'all allow in Christianity. But
in any religion, even in the Indian religion, they believe that, number one, that you should not have sex without being married. They believe that. That's a part of their culture.
Most cultures.
That's most cultures.
Most of their culture.
That's part of human culture.
In that, they still have that caveat that that is a particular area in life that is a great struggle. It can be done, and it has successfully been done in regards to that nature, by being celibate and not having sex until you're married. It has been proven, not just for the Christian church, but for other cultures. That is their belief. And so with that, my only caveat is to women or even to men who are celebrating or who are practicing that, don't think because your coochie is quivering that you're doing something wrong, because it's supposed to.
Well, if it's supposed to quiver, it's supposed to have something to stop it from quivering.
But maybe not in that time.
Well,
maybe
we can debate that all year.
Now that should need to be scratched.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. This is why I say that it does not work. I look at the divorce rate and I listen to middle-aged women who.
But are they practicing celibacy?
Well,
because celibacy, if you know the celibacy is
I
not
don't
something
know
that is
I don't
practiced.
know there's nothing about it.
So I'm saying,
every woman that I've encountered in my lifetime that claimed she was not having sex before marriage, lied.
No, some are not. Some are not, and
Most.
some are not based
Most.
on what we talked about yesterday. Some are not having it based on when we talked yesterday about the hurtness and the pain that they've encountered. They're equating sex with the pain that they encounter with their relationship, because even
But
me and
eventually,
Crystal,
eventually
we
they
talked
get
about-
over it.
No, some it's been 30 years, haven't it? They
Well,
said
she was practicing celibacy. she
See,
said.
there you go.
for
See,
30
but,
30
years.
years.
'cause
But guess
she was,
what?
She was still hurt though. She
she
still had that
no,
bitterness.
no, she hurting down there because she boarded up like a hood house.
Well,
Okay.
I feel like you have to use what God
Use it
gave
or
you.
lose it.
or right,
Use it or
because,
lose it.
because it's an expiration date on. You know what made me? First of all, I ain't never been dating anyone and waited 90 days, and I.
Keep
Go
going.
ahead, go ahead.
And I'm not saying that I'm any smoother or better closer than any other man. Just the relationships I've been in, and we were vibing and feeling each other. It's never been 90 days that I had to wait to culminate it with that form of intimacy, for sure. But I definitely feel like, nobody should wait 20 and 30 years. That's a little bit out of the norm, because what about when you 20, 30, 40? So if I'm 20, I'm not going to do it again until I'm 50. Or if I'm 40, I ain't going to do it until I'm 70. That's a lot, because you need it like breathing, like eating. It's a natural part of being man and woman. The Lord created Adam for Eve, or if that's what you do, whatever. We fit like a puzzle. We gotta I crave it. I crave companionship. I crave intimacy. I crave it. That keeps you can't tell me it's wrong when after some good love making, a woman to get up and clean up the house from the top to the bottom.
From the top
to the bottom.
It's great.
Get energized. Or a man could go out there and feel like I can conquer the world today because my lady took care of me this morning.
Right. It's
And,
a great
and,
feeling. It's
and,
a great
and not only that, look at how she her persona changes.
Totally.
Forget you. Look how she's walking.
Yeah.
Look what she went and put on. You know what I'm saying?
Walking a little different.
She walking a little different.
And every time she walked by, I'm touching her.
Sexual.
Her arm, her leg, her
Yeah.
shoulder, something. Every time, don't walk by because I could be
A healthy
on the
sex,
computer.
a healthy sex life. A
Yeah.
healthy sex
Look at
life
that.
is
Yeah.
a healthy sex
That's
life
wonderful.
is one of the keys to life.
Man, I told my daughter, my eldest daughter,
Yes, it is.
and she's a beautiful young lady. And we were talking the other day, and she said something to the effect of, we were talking about relationships, and she said, Daddy, you ain't got nothing on me. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, I remember you in your younger days and all the women that you had. And you thought you were this and you thought you were that. And I said, yeah, I did. She said, well, you ain't got nothing on me. And I said, I ain't got nothing on you. She was really saying to me as her father, I'm highly sexed. That's what she was saying.
Right.
And it took me a minute to get it, but then I had to stop and think, this is my child.
Right. She inherited that.
She should absolutely be highly sexed.
It's in the DNA.
Yes, it's in her DNA. And she has now come to the age where she could say things to me as an adult to let me know that I have to quit looking at who she chooses to be with my eyes crossed. And I said, wow, this is deep.
Right.
And the reason that she was taking me there is because she wanted me to treat her significant other with some respect. You know what I'm saying? And I had to examine that and say, man, you got to do better. This dude is sleeping with your daughter. And unless you want to lose your daughter, you have to conform to what it is that she wants. And as a man, it's hard to do with your female children. It's hard to deal with a dude straight up and treat him as an equal, knowing he hitting your daughter. I don't care how old she get. It's hard for a man.
So how do you feel about that?
Feel the same way. Every time he comes to the door, I'm trying to put my foot on his neck some kind of way. Literally,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
That's, you know, sometimes I even got to catch myself, like back up and let him breathe a little bit. With my
Yes.
daughter, you know, the 19-year-old, you know, basically, I told you about him before you came in the first time. She said, I put him in a headlock when he walked through the door, you know, like, who is this nigga?
Yeah.
For real, you
Yeah.
know, just like that.
Yeah.
And then I looked at him, I said, I might be your daddy. What's your mama name? You know, I just,
Yeah, just-
and so we got off on the wrong track. I you know, I was like, you look like my older son. You know, so I might be,
But we
'cause I got around.
we have to
Also,
What do
we
you
have
think
to do
about that,
better.
Dr.
Right,
Issa?
that was
We
you
have
know,
to learn to do better.
So I had to
What about
you know,
the state
pull back now.
thing?
And, you know, she had
What's your
a
mama name?
she had a tragic yeah, absolutely. She had a situation where she had gotten burned, which she's healing up now. You know, thank you. But my man didn't waver. He was there at the hospital with her for days and days. She's still been coming around, hasn't wavered. And you know, I was like, okay, I gotta look at this brother a little
Differently.
different. I gotta
Yeah,
give him,
we
I
gotta learn
give him
to.
some respect. He's a decent guy.
Yeah.
You know, because most young guys, come on, 20 years old, your lady get burnt, they gone.
They go.
Well, I have a
Absolutely,
question.
physically, you know? Yeah.
We have young ladies these days that are killing each other over the power of the D, I guess. So is there any would you say there's any comparison to the power of the P, or is the P still more powerful, or how do you teach them even handling the power of the D? Since you're talking
The
about
power-
your daughters.
The power of the D is a different animal.
It is.
Totally.
Only because
Completely.
completely. It's the power of the D is more mental to a woman.
Yes, it is.
It's more mental. The power of the P brings life to the world. It's a whole
Brings
another.
a light
say
to
you,
the
Dr.
world.
Yeah.
Oh no doubt about
Yeah,
it.
that's where
I
life
agree.
starts.
No
at.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
That is, see, y'all ain't gonna like this. Y'all church folks really ain't finna like this. Heaven is between your legs. That brings
Yeah.
life to the world. Y'all get that?
I
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
call mine
I hear you.
paradise. So you're right.
To us, whether we say it outwardly to our children or
You
to
are right.
anybody else, heaven is between your legs.
So do you agree, Dr. Issa?
Well, I mean, heaven is a different discussion, but I understand what you're saying, because I decided, since I was single, and having never been single, this is the first, I would give mine a name. And so I name it Paradise, because it keeps me into perspective.
Wait a minute, doctor. Hold on. Paradise.
But reason being, you said the D for women is mental, and that's
Yes.
true. So if I call it paradise, then I mean everybody can't enter. So I have to have my
Oh.
mind right.
Well, you know, I had some Jehovah's Witness people come to the door and ask me, did I want to live in a paradise world?
It's so funny.
But I think it's important about the mental thing. That's why some men, and I have talked about this, they'll see a woman, she's beautiful, she making money, all that. And they'll say, well, I told her I just wanted to kick it. I ain't trying to have a relationship. Then they screw her brains out or break her back, like y'all said, and then she crazy
Mhm.
because she's not.
Then she's no good.
Then she's no good, and then you all are trying to figure out, well, why is she acting like that? Because emotionally, when a woman get it good and there are things missing internally, then the D feels like he loves me
And she'll love
when
you.
I don't love myself.
Wow.
She'll love you to
I
death.
just learned something.
Yes, she will.
And she'll love you to
Good.
death.
He must love me to do all of
Because
this.
if you're
And I
doing
feel
it
like
so good to me,
Yeah.
you must love me
You-
because how good you make me feel.
That's
Wow.
So-
That answers a lot of questions from my past there.
Yeah.
Because I had a couple that acted real crazy,
Absolute man. Listen,
and I was putting it on them. So
Guess
I
what?
said,
That's what that was your indoctrination in the manhood, real manhood, because we all had to get those, slash them tires and throw something through your window, and
man, I came
you know,
home.
I had one run over another young lady. You know,
Oh my!
I come out the house going to work at 7 a.m. I got to look left and right every day.
Wow.
for years.
I had a young lady, man.
You got to watch out for that.
True story. I had a young lady that was liking me a lot. And I was playing hard to get with this young lady. I don't know what made me start doing this dumb stuff. Usually it's okay, let me hit this and move on.
See there.
But with this girl, I played hard to get, right? And I strung her along for about 3 weeks, right? So she called me over. She had cooked a dinner. I had never had a woman cook a dinner for me before at this time. She cooked dinner. We did our thing. When I got through, took a shower, jetted. Right? The next day, she invited me over again. My ego, I didn't want to go. The hit really wasn't that swell. But my ego, that I didn't know what it was at that time, sent me back. She pulled a pistol on me.
Oh my.
She
Wow.
pulled a pistol on me, man, and told me, nigga, I will kill you if you ever disrespect me like that again. But I was so stupid, I didn't even know that I had disrespected her because this was the way that we lived. This is how we thought we were supposed to conduct ourselves. If you listen and you know who you are,
Call in.
call in 248-429-7224.
Yes.
So what do you
But
think?
you know what? That was a big help in my life because it made me understand that you can't treat people like that. You just you can't do it. It's going to catch up with you.
Well, that was a teachable moment for you.
Yes.
You got there early in the game, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Early.
Wow. That was
And she
extreme.
was older. She was a little bit older.
Right.
You know, I think I was like 20 and she was like 24, 25. And we're good friends. We're great friends today.
Oh, you can laugh about that story now.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
But oftentimes the power of the D will get you hurt if you misuse it. You know, I mean, remember the white lady that cut the dude's thing off and throw it on the freeway?
Right above it. Yep.
I mean,
went back and picked it up.
Because it's mental.
But how crazy and
Business.
hurt could she have to be
Right.
to plan this out? Not I'm gonna shoot you, not I'm gonna poison you. I'm gonna cut your penis off and I'm gonna throw it on the
Right.
side of the road.
It's crazy.
Sonia, I think it's two different ways to look at it too, because the power of the P, like you said, the P could be broke. P don't have to have no money. P don't have to have no house, no nothing. It could just be sitting in his mama's basement. But the D can't be living in the mama basement. Better have a
Absolutely.
car, better have a job, better have some type of security. The D better have some type of knowledge, be able to speak well. You know, all that kind of stuff got to go along with the D for it to be powerful. But the P ball by itself.
Do you agree? Right. I was about to say, wait a minute.
That ain't true.
Now you agree with that?
That ain't true.
I'll say this.
agree with
That was a great analogy, but I'll
That's
say
not
this.
true.
You might not need that for the D initially, but if you want some long term,
Right, long term, maybe, yeah.
you're gonna get exposed eventually, and the P gonna shut you down.
But see, the P is so
But you can
strong.
talk up on it now. You can keep your front self to get that P
The
initially.
P is so strong, you can go in pimping,
Right.
but the P will have you go get a 9 to 5.
All of that.
The P will have
It will
you
develop you.
taking care of children.
Upgrade
The
you.
P will
Picking out
have
the
you
garbage.
cooking dinners.
Right.
Listen, man, I never saw myself preparing a dinner for anybody, children and nobody. The P will make you learn how to cook.
He made that lamb.
I mean, really.
Right,
You know, like women, like, you know, I know it's hard for women on the dating scene when you become middle-aged. It is hard. Number one, you got a terrible pool of men to choose from. That's number one.
Yeah.
Clap.
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 I'm gonna do the Tevin Campbell clap. Firstly, you know, you guys have a terrible pool to pick from. Secondly, we living in a time where nobody is even paying attention to one another. You know what I mean? We texting. I had a young lady tell me the other day. She was like, you know what? Is this guy being sweet to me, or is he just a damn fool? I said, well, you know, let me see the messages. He was sending hearts and flowers and all this stuff. And I said, well, he seemed like he's sweet. She said, no, because after you send this, follow up with a phone call. And this wasn't a young dude. This was, he's 50-ish. So she asked me, she said, well, should I go out with this guy? I said, well, I think it's kind of sweet that the dude is sending you these things to I said, I wouldn't send it to you. I said, I wouldn't. I'm going to just be honest with you. I would not send these kind of things to someone. She said she went to the movies with the dude. She said the dude sat there and messed with his phone throughout the whole movie. Now, again, this is not a young boy. This is a man of 50. So I think we have a disconnect, man.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
We have some kind of disconnect. I don't know what to call it. Maybe you do, doctor, but
Do you know what to call it, doctor?
Well, it is a disconnect. I think technology period have created a disconnect. It's easier to send some flowers through a text than it is to go buy some. And so, you know what I mean? It's just, there's this immediate gratification with technology. And depending upon your perspective, I know I've met men that I ain't impressed by text, period. If I don't know you and I just met you, texting me means nothing because I need to see you.
Well, let me ask you this, doctor. Since you brought another scenario to the table. You and a guy talking. You kind of feeling him. Not all the way, but you just kind of feeling him. He kind of feeling you. And he sends you a text message in the middle of the night saying he wants to see certain things via text. Would you be open to sending him something like that?
Probably not. Somebody I just met.
Well, no, you kind of feeling it.
Not just feeling him. No.
No.
He ain't earned that just because I'm feeling him.
So he can't see paradise, huh?
No.
No.
You got it. It's stages.
It's levels.
It's level to this.
It's a path to paradise.
And texting is cool when I already know you, and we may drop a line or two, but that's really it. It's not for real conversation or intimacy.
Yeah, see, I don't text at all. I don't like it. And I ask people not to do it with me.
Don't be looking at me.
And I don't even like it from a business perspective. Because so many times I have taken texts out of context.
Right.
Because you couldn't see them and you couldn't feel their body.
Right. And I just ask people, if you really want to contact me, call me. Because I don't want to read a text out of context and call you and blow up at you and you didn't even mean what I thought you meant.
Right.
So I think that's hurting the dating scene in our age group.
Yeah.
These kids, they still playing anyway. I don't know what the hell they doing. But for people our age, I think we have to start to hold hands and just walk down the river walk and
right.
You know what I mean? We got to do some things to figure out, because I might be feeling you and then you might hit me with if you ain't going to church with me, you ain't getting nothing. Well, I need to know that like in the first day.
Don't you have it in your book? Because you talked about it yesterday about wasn't it making love or what was the
making love to your mate
making love all day.
Yeah, that's a process, and that's what you gotta you have to learn that. First you gotta learn your mate. You gotta learn how to, if you talk about some sustainability, you gotta learn how to be good friends, first of all.
Yes.
That's key, because if not, it's not gonna last. I don't care how it could flip, it could catch fire, it could do the doubles, triple somersault, all of that, but that ain't gonna keep you there. Eventually, that gets old if that's all it is. So you got to learn how to do things like, give her a call or give him a call, or pop up and do lunch, or, buy something sexy, that he doesn't even know about, surprise him with it, or vice versa.
Go to work and give him some head and work.
For sure. I mean, We did have
See,
those kind of situations.
because you know, middle-aged women, they get to the middle part and then think, well, I ain't got to do that right there.
That's not true.
Right.
That's not
That's
true.
not true.
It's
At
not.
all.
It's not.
It's
It's
not.
just where is
No.
he? So we can do it.
Exactly.
Where
And
is
you don't
he?
want to be
Yeah.
misused
Like,
and abused
he-
because
He's
It's difficult
he's-
in
he-
our age group.
he's at the
Uh-huh.
McDonald's in the line.
He could be, but what I don't think that's a true statement. I think it's a drought, so women become, withdrawn over a
Mhm.
period of time. Or again, women, it takes them some time to get over previous hurt if they don't work on it. So they tend to take baggage into a situation because maybe they did it that time and I ain't doing it this time because they haven't healed. So I think if a woman has not healed, then she continues to function with a dysfunction.
What advice do you have for women that may be coming out of a relationship and they're a little tattered from that relationship? What do you
Heal.
think is the best way for them to start to move on?
Having been divorced after 15 years of marriage, I think getting to know who she is
Mhm.
and seeing what are some of her flaws and some of her issues that maybe contaminated a relationship, and take responsibility for who she is and move forward. You got to spend time with yourself. You got to affirm yourself. You got to read things that are empowering. You got to do things that make you feel better. You can't deal with toxic people.
Toxic people.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Toxic
Right.
people. Wow.
So I think she just has to consider it a journey of healing. You got to be a participant in your own healing. But what we would like to do is get out of one situation and get another man so he can help cover up what you went through with the last one, and that doesn't work.
Because culturally, that's what they were taught.
Right.
Culturally, they was taught the best way to get over a man is to get
a
another
new
man.
Yeah.
And so culturally, they didn't allow themselves to heal because they believed that old wives' tale
Yeah.
is that.
I think that you all, and this is not a put down in any way. This is all with all due respect, but I think you all need to start to learn the difference between a male and a man.
True.
So true. So true.
I agree. We agree.
I really do. I really do. And while understanding that there's very few of us out here that aren't so-called taken, but sometimes middle-aged women can meet a guy, and this is crazy, but it's true. They think that the guy is too nice. They think that the guy is too nice. He doesn't walk with the swag that they like, or he don't wear his hat a certain way. But he may be a great dude, but he can't get the opportunity to prove it because she's seeing a image in her mind of what she wants in her bed.
But don't men do the same thing?
Well,
Don't
I
men do
didn't.
the same thing?
I didn't
Because
say that.
men-
I didn't say. But we don't have the problem that you all have.
Sure don't.
See, we don't have that problem. Listen, with all due respect, I can still do from 18 to 80 without a problem. Women don't have that luxury when they become middle-aged people.
Well, I beg to differ.
Well, you can.
Right.
You
I beg to
Go
differ.
back to 25.
I didn't. Wait a minute. No,
I
I
beg
don't
to
get
differ.
No, you get what I'm saying, Doc.
Yeah.
I mean, women get to the point where they not even studying no guy 25. They don't even want to be bothered.
Because you got to be taught. Anybody got time for that?
Exactly. So, but
Unless you just want to have fun.
but
Right. Yeah.
but most middle-aged women who have been hurt been having fun. Now they ready to live the second stage of life.
Mhm.
Well, we
But
as men,
most middle women that have been hurt, they have not been having fun. They have been faking the fun. Because if you've been hurt, you have not been having fun. You have been faking it. And women are good about faking it because they think about the fact of the children, like we talked about yesterday. They think about the fact that, okay, I'm really not digging him, but I'll make a sacrifice for my children.
I'll fake the funk with you because I got other things that I have to think about.
Yes,
I'm
that
gonna put
happens.
my sexual pleasures aside because that's not important right now.
Well, in
What's
some,
more
yeah, I'm
important
sure
is
in
my
some
children.
cases that happens.
So they have
a
not
lot.
a lot.
It's a whole lot.
So they'll sacrifice that sex.
But I was only making the difference
Mhm.
The
between
comparison.
us and
Okay.
y'all.
Mhm.
See, we don't have the same situations to deal with that you all have.
True.
You know what I mean? If you going to see a dude, you want to get your hair did. You want to be tight. Sometimes I can go out in the streets without getting in the shower.
Ooh.
No, it's for real. I'm telling you. I can be driving down the street in that convertible. If I drop that top,
Yeah,
But you
you're
got
right.
the convertible. If I had the convertible
But-
too, I
but-
could drive
he's
that
saying,
shit.
look,
you're
just-
missing
yeah.
the point. You're missing the point, honey. What I'm trying to tell you is that I can pull up that light on a beautiful day like today, and a college student think that she sees something that she thinks she see, and I can get her to swing off a tree at the park. Most middle-aged women don't have that going on.
And that's in part, like Dr. Easton was saying, is due to baggage, is due to perception of from your experience. Like with some women, it's like you're being so nice. And I remember when I fell for that before, so I'm not falling for that again. Or I experienced such and such before, or in my marriage, he cheated on me. And a lot of times when women get cheated on, they don't know how to really, you don't get it. There's no methodology to how do you really respond to that. And a lot of women feel like, oh, he cheated on me with this chick. I got to see her. What does she look like? What does she have to offer that I didn't offer or I wasn't doing? And it makes you internalize it like, okay, well, when I step out, I got to look like this. I got to be like this. So the next guy, see me as, this and that, and I won't be cheated on. It's a lot of baggage that comes with a lot of stuff that we deal with. And a lot of times we don't take that time to heal and get to know ourselves. And really, because you got kids you still got to raise, or you got image you got to keep up with, or when you the boss, you got companies to run, you got stuff you got to do. You don't take that time.
Well,
like Dr. Eason does the I choose me. So you don't get, a lot of women don't take that time, and people tell you you're selfish. I choose me. Oh, you so selfish. Oh, you just thinking about you. We need that time to be able to move on to the next. And a lot of women don't take that
way. Yeah.
Now, what about the fact that, just in my life's experiences where a lady's staying there, she's in a solid marriage, but she's not totally happy. She might get 80% there, but then she's sliding out with me for the other 20%. Because we got them kind of situations going on quite a bit too.
Absolutely.
Where look, I ain't satisfied. He ain't satisfying me. I ain't happy with him, but I ain't going nowhere. So this is what I need, and flat out would tell you this is what I need from you. And so a lot of that is happening out here also. And now the ball's in your court. What you want to do? Oh, I'm gonna catch that ball and I'm gonna roll with it because it means I can get this 20% and I ain't got to deal with that other 80. Then absolutely. When the wheels fall off, then I go. I'll get replaced or whatever, but at that point, at least I appreciate you letting me know up front what it is. But I've come across several situations like that in my lifetime where they still there. One lady still with her husband 25 years later, but she should get 20% or 10% or 15%, what she needed from me for several years. And they still got their marriage and moved on.
I think that a concept that I live by in my marriage, when it comes to infidelity and stepping out and stuff like that, and it has worked for me. I don't know if it'll work as well for others, but it works for me. Like Sonia was saying, when a man has cheated on a woman and vice versa. Well, my theory is that can't no woman cheat on me. She can cheat on her damn self. She can't cheat on me. I don't own her, and she doesn't own me. And that has worked for me in my marriage because I'm not the coochie police. I don't have time to be the coochie police. And you shouldn't have time to be the penis police. What we need to do is you love on you. And if you love on you, I'm going to love on you too. And that's what I think that adults, it can't get that concept as a kid, when you run around playing. But when you become an adult and you see a person as your equal, I mean, straight up, like when you learn to see your woman like you saw your boy, your childhood friend, your boy, and you would give your life for him because of what y'all been through together. When we learn to see our women that way, we change.
But do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree, Tom?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. I like that concept. You can't cheat on me. You know, if you cheating, if you're doing something, you actually cheating on yourself. You messing up.
Well, that's actually who you are cheating on.
Yeah.
That's really who you.
like that.
Because if you don't want to be with somebody, don't be with them.
Right. Exactly.
Period.
So do you
And
agree?
if you cheating with some guy, then that's probably the guy you should go on and be with.
So do you agree, Dr. Issa?
I do. I agree because women, and back to what Mr. Dandridge talked about, the woman who decides to go to the 20%, she can only do that for so long because emotionally she's gonna get entangled. So even though she go back home, she's still twisted.
Yeah.
She's still twisted.
And she's going to learn to hate that guy at home.
Because women cheat for a reason. And so it may seem like it's 20%, but what I need feel like 80.
Oh,
so
whoa.
Absolutely.
So dude at home
he done.
He done.
He done. So I'm really selling myself short.
Absolutely.
Because I can't handle it, truly.
So that means the concept is true.
It's true.
It's true.
Interesting from a woman's point of view. Very interesting. Okay.
You know, it took me a long time to get to that concept and really to be man enough to look in the mirror and say, I'm going to live this way. Because for so many years, I have dominated women. And to go through all of those things and be able to admit to self that you pretty much been a womanizer your whole life. If you want this to work, you have to refocus and see this person not as your property, not as a piece of meat. It's another human being. And she has promised to help you raise your children. She takes care of you. She works as well as you. Sometimes she'll go to work when you won't go to work. And when you really start to understand the beauty of a woman, all women, I don't give even the skank women, in the right situation, she's a beautiful thing. In the right situation. And it's so hard for our women to find the right situation because we got so much stuff going on. You know what I mean? We really do. And not to make excuses, we damage goods. And by the time we get to the stage in life where we start to figure things out and what it is to be a man, what it is to be a father, what it is to be a mentor, we're middle-aged. See, all that other stuff is just practice. But when you get to that middle ground is when you start to kick in as to who you will be. So
who you need to have.
And who you need to have. You know, it's like you said right now, if I ain't interested, I ain't interested. I ain't gonna waste my time. Well, there was a time you could see a dude and he looking good and you'll say, I'm wasting my time.
Because he cute.
Right. And I'm so glad that we're on Vent Radio with the CEO because we have no real time restraints. However, we are at the bottom of the show and I want to make sure.
No, it's not that you don't have time restraints. It's because y'all be late.
No, we don't have no real time restraints. So nevertheless, we want to make sure Dr. Issa and her guests make sure that we have gone over the points that you wanted to make in this show and given to our guests what you wanted to say. So Dr. Issa, what did you want to close out with?
Well, with the power of the P, I think, Mr. Jen, what do women who are single, middle-aged women in particular, need to know about themselves to know that they have the power?
I feel like that's when women are at their best moments in their lives, when the middle age, if you want to call it that, because that's all relative. Because most of the time you got your career on point, you've been through some things, you actually more beautiful at that point to me. as a man, because now you know yourself inside and out. And at that point, paradise is something that the right man would definitely be welcome to. That's for sure. You know, because ain't nobody playing no games by the time you middle age when it comes to that. For what? At that point, all those pretenses are over. It's a done deal. I like you, you like me, we vibing. You know, let's build something together, because it ain't just the relationship. This is a business partnership.
Absolutely.
At that point, so you know. Now, when you're on that level, that's a whole nother level. Then the intimacy gonna be off the charts anyway, because you got everything else in place. So you know, it's a process. And like you all were saying, you got to live some and go through some things to get to that point. I know my ex-wife.
Get to the good part.
My ex-wife told me, "You're gonna be ready for your next wife," you know, and I didn't understand that then. She was like, "You wasn't really fully ready this time, but you're gonna be ready for the next one."
Me and my ex-wife are the best of
Probably put me in
friends.
some training that I ain't figured out yet.
She might walk. She might walk in this door in any minute.
I tell my ex-husband that I have taught you.
And I mean, me and this woman were like cold enemies. But once it had nothing to do with her. Not saying she was perfect.
Right.
But once I understood what my obligation was as a man that I didn't understand when I was with her, then I had to submit to what was right. And what was right was for me to get away from that woman and she get away from me and go find her soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And at first it was like, you ain't gonna never have nobody. But that was just anger and being mean. But I would love for her to fall in love. I would even walk her down the aisle.
Oh, that's
Wow.
wonderful.
I would.
That's awesome.
That's my son's mother. I would. I would do that.
That's wonderful.
Okay,
But no, you know, it's not. It's just that, like, women. I talk to women all the time, and women are having it hard, and they do have a problem with dating. In the second part of life, it's a real issue. It really is, and that's why you see a lot of this homosexuality amongst women now.
That's another show.
That's another show.
That's another show.
But when we as men start realizing our manhood, it'll be easier for them. It will.
And so there was a couple of other chapters. So can you mention some of the chapters in your book, some of the titles of
some of them are being true to yourself. Every relationship needs a spiritual foundation. Respect the game.
Respect the game.
How, how friend of the court is anything but when it comes
the friend of the court is anything but
when it comes to dissolution of a relationship or marriage. If children are involved. How children play a major role. Neither the strengthening or demise of the relationship, because things change once children are brought into the equation, for sure. So those are some of them. Let's see.
And so when is your book coming out?
My goal is to have it out in January of 2018.
2018.
I'm just finishing it up now. Right.
Just finishing it up.
Right.
And so we know we're going to have you come back on the show. But Dr. Eason, tell them you have a company. God has caused you to birth a nonprofit into existence, and tell us a little bit about that nonprofit and how can you be reached.
Well, I have CLE Strategic Solutions LLC, not nonprofit.
LLC, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it is for life coaching, counseling, training, and consulting. 313-784-4795. And I Choose Me is a ministry, a movement for women to pause and love themselves.
Wow, great.
And then you
Great.
also have a company called
Excellent Choices LLC. I do a lot of life skills training for the youth, and now doing some classroom management training for the teachers, especially with the cultural differences. Because whatever school system you go in now, it's 80, 90, 95% African American student population, but that's not who's teaching them. Somebody that looks like them, that came from where they came from, that can really understand them. So they need some sensitivity type training. Just before they need to get that before they can even start teaching the kids, or the kids be open to them as far as the learning comes, and respecting them. You know, that's a big key, because if I come from an urban environment and I'm dealing with the suburban type of teachers who's kind of looking down, looking like at me like you don't want to learn anyway, or you're a problem, then you know nothing's going to be accomplished, and that's why our kids are struggling and lagging behind. And that's how we can work on cutting out the straight school to prison pipeline. I got an issue with that.
And so for Excellent Choices, how can you be reached in regards to that matter?
They can go online to excellentchoices.com, llc.com, or excellentchoicesllc.info, or also at 313-424-3845.
And so we thank each and every one of our guests for being a part of our In the Zone program on today. Simply Sonia is in the house. Simply Sonia, did you want to have any words?
On today? What did that mean?
On today. Today.
How does she be?
What? It's what they call proper grammar.
On today?
On today.
You think that's proper?
Yes, it is.
No, that ain't
Mama,
proper.
Daddy, stop it. No more fighting, Mama, Daddy. Please. No, I don't have any announcements, but great show, great topic, obviously,
It
because
was
our
a great
producer
show.
was like really into
Yes,
it.
he was.
Y'all was
had to
talking
bring
y'all was
this
talking
back.
y'all was talking about coochie. I mean, hey, that's
Oh,
real easy.
goodness.
Y'all was talking about heaven. Y'all just
Paradise.
She
Paradise.
calls it paradise.
well, no, that's her personal paradise. Universally is heaven.
But there's a lot of songs written about the peace. So I do believe that men have understood over time the power.
Stoop down, baby,
You better get it.
and let your daddy see.
You know that song. You know that song.
You
know
got
that
something
song.
down there,
You
baby.
know that song.
Run the hell out of me.
Okay, so can you bring it to nowadays? Can you bring it to nowadays? Can you bring this? Because we
That's-
don't know that
We
song.
don't know, no.
You ain't. Did you hear the lyric?
Yeah, but I've never heard that song.
Stoop down, baby.
You got to get the blues.
Let your
Oh,
daddy
it's the blues.
see.
Okay.
You got something down there, baby. Run the hell out of me. Don't get no better than that.
Don't get no better than that.
Y'all say bye.
So thank you, each and every one of you, for joining our program today. Since I can't
On
say
today.
on today, and so on next week we have
Next week we're gonna have Kurt Levert. He's a part of the Levert family. He's gonna be here talking about. He's doing an event December 9th on the OJs versus Luther Vandross.
Is that Eddie's kids? Is that another one of Eddie's children?
I don't really
yes,
know.
it is.
I believe so, but I don't.
All right, see,
I don't
Eddie.
really know.
Eddie,
However,
Eddie was doing his thing.
Kurt Levert will be with us, and we're going to be talking about the OJs versus Luther Vandross event, where the floaters are going to be.
How they gonna verse Luther? Luther dead.
No, they're going to do his music.
Oh.
They're going to do his music live.
Oh.
And so anyway, we're going to talk about some of the lyrics, the old school lyrics versus the new school kind of lyrics. We're going to talk about some of the kind of like old school bands and the difference between them and some of the current artists that are out. And we're going to just really talk about
Where'd the Reverend go?
I don't know. So we're going to have Kurt Levert on next Saturday here on
Maybe
Vent
heaven
Radio.
was calling.
Right. Maybe he
When
was
heaven
there.
calls, you better come.
So we're going to do that on next Saturday.
And so I thank each and every one of you for joining us today. And I hope, as always, that you sing like no one's listening, that you laugh like you've never been hurt, that you love like you've never loved before, and that you live life like it's heaven on earth. Ciao.
Thank you for joining us in the zone. Y'all come back now. You hear? Great show. That's why we come back.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to come back when you're booked.